Hi, welcome to For Flow with Chloe. And today the clocks have changed, so we're not only past the equinox, which symbolises the beginning of spring, but officially they've given us the extra daylight hour situation. Or whatever it is when they change the clocks. Oh, instantly we have the Three of Cups fly out of the deck. Three of Cups, Three of Cups. Not a trio of police officers. Yes, so had completely forgotten about the clock change today. Can't remember how to change my oven clock. Very annoying. Gonna go down the legs today, stack them up, rack them up down the legs. We might do one more, just so we've got... Ooh. Okay, that's giving me 3 more. 4 more. Goodness me. Okay, that works. So I have 3 rows of 4, which is 12. Nice. Okay, so a need for harmony and collaboration. These people are working together to fix a common goal. Our 3s are usually a harmonious trine of union. And here they are working together. Sometimes they are working to put on like a church play on traditional cards. Sometimes they are working and rebuilding parts of the church and like decorating it. Either way, it kind of symbolises society, union and harmony, which is something that's been coming up quite a lot. The need to be balanced in the collective, balanced with your relationship to your connections, your internal and your external balance for the good of all. And then we have the 6 of Cups, a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of like looking back at childhood whimsy, things that are sweet and make us feel emotionally secure, things that are emotionally familiar. We have these 2 little children showing this kind of like past times nostalgia, exchanging little posies in the cups, which is cute and spring-like and yeah, quite whimsical and sweet. And so there may be sort of past emotions coming up. With it being Easter, it's coming up to Easter anyway. It's often a time where people start to like emerge back from out of the darkness of winter, you know, following the kind of limbo land of post-Christmas and the New Year. And like these kind of in-between seasons, like March is kind of like an in-between month. February and March, there's kind of in-between, like ending of winter, not quite spring yet, no massive festivals going on, no massive social gatherings, until sort of Ostara and Easter. And so it might be that, you know, relatives or friends, relationships of nostalgia start popping up back on the scene, and sort of rekindling you with parts of your past emotional self. Whether that be positive for you or not so positive for you, it will be nostalgic. Hopefully it will be cutesy and whimsical. And we also have this lovely card of stability and expansion with the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. And Jupiter likes to expand things, and Capricorn likes to build things. It likes to form stability and structure. And so it's very much about expanding your prosperity and your abundance, and doing it in quite a expansive, so that it can be something bigger. Like growth, this nice, optimistic, because it's Jupiter, optimism, expansion of growth, optimistic growth, or putting your energy back into something or reinvesting it in an area that is going to create growth, future growth, something to build upon. And we also have the Knight of Pentacles plodding along, not particularly fast, on his horse, as he represents mutable air, which is Virgo. So he's quite meticulous and likes to be checking careful maintenance of the boundaries of the kingdom and keeping everything well maintained and in check and in order. He's that kind of knight. He's diligent, he's fastidious, but he's not particularly go-gettery. And so it's about having diligence and doing sort of the checks, the security checks on your boundaries and the boundaries of your kingdom, and seeing where you need to maybe put some of this energy into what is day to day, and what can you do day to day to maintain your security and growth. And there's a little message about that. So we've got some earthiness with that, with those 2 pentacle cards, 3 pentacle cards actually we've got, haven't we? And we are having this interaction between Saturn, which is very Capricorn, it rules Capricorn, so very kind of earthy related, and it can on the negative side be to do with restriction, but on the positive side it can be to do with growth and stability and building. But it's interacting with Pluto in Aquarius. Saturn in Aries is interacting with Pluto in Aquarius. And Aquarius is just very much like collective energy that we had on this card, like society, groups, communities. But it's very much about freedom. And Saturn is very much about building structures, or structures with Pluto, which is kind of a more of a planet of transformation. It can be about restructuring. And so you might be having some messages coming through about how to create a new stability that better benefits you and maintains your individuality, with the Aquarian vibe and also the Aries vibe, because Saturn's in Aries, and they're very about authenticity and initiation, starting things new, but also about individuation. Stand strong in ourself and our sense of self, build towards a more prosperous future. How does we fit into community with that? If that makes sense. And then we have Temperance. This card came up yesterday in the reading I pulled at the beginning of my Libra full moon class. We have got a Libra full moon next Thursday, so the Thursday coming up next week. And it's all about balance. And the Temperance card is very much about balance. It's also about expanding our wisdom, because it's highly related to Sagittarius, but in a very spiritual way of being tempered and balanced within our energy to create this spiritual wisdom and being in harmony with things. And you've got this person sort of pouring the water between the cups. Over here, we've got this person playing with the pentacles. So there's a lot of this sort of mixing and expanding vibe going on at both a personal level of day-to-day structures and also deeply within us at a spiritual level, like a more soul level, and maybe trying to make sense of where we physically and spiritually sort of fit into this new reality that we're shaping. It's like, I spiritually feel like this and my soul wants this. How do I put it into action and make it a stable, solid reality? Lots of that energy. Have the Death card, massive card of transformation. I was talking about Pluto being a planet of transformation and as having some interactions between Saturn, the builder of structures, and Pluto, the planet of transformation. And it's about, release. It's about rebirthing. It's about this contraction and expansion, creating this sort of new birth. When women give birth, literally like their body is like pushing and then expanding and pushing and expanding. Like their whole body expands with birth, with pregnancy, and then the contractions sort of push it out. And so there's like this massive discomfort at times, and then the gaps in between. And with this whole Saturn thing going on, like that's kind of the contraction, like the difficult, painful contraction, but it can feel like it's getting more tense and more urgent and more restrictive. But the process needs to happen to push out in an expansive newness, this act of transformation of like tighten it to open it, tighten it to open it, if that makes sense. Almost like breathing, like a pair of lungs, like breathing new life as well. I'm just getting this like birthing kind of thing going on, and it's not always comfortable, it's not always easy, but the new thing will come, and it's not always a delightful process. It's sometimes challenging. It can be very challenging. And we have the Queen of Swords, who represents Libra. And I was just talking about that Libra full moon. You can go and check out as well that Libra full moon class. Lots of balance play, lots and lots of heart opening in it. It's got lots of timestamps as well, so you can watch just the tarot reading, you can watch the whole thing. It also has some inversion poses supported by the wall or door that are very heart opening. But the timestamps allow you to sort of join in with that or skip that and just do like the rest of the class and then maybe leave that bit out or include that bit. So you can go and check that out and kind of tailor your own class through the timestamps as to how deep you, or upside down, you do or do not want to go. Harmony, balance, clarity, truth. She holds the sword of truth, and she is ruled by Venus. There's going to be lots of Venus energy going on under this full moon, because in a couple of days Venus will move into Taurus, and that will be having interaction with this full moon, which is ruled by Venus, because Venus also rules Libra and Taurus. And then we have the Judgment card. This came up recently in a reading I pulled. And again, transformation. Judgment card and the Death card are highly related to Scorpio, which is a sign of massive transformation. It's all about transformation. The transformation from Scorpion to Eagle to Phoenix rising, like rising from the ashes. And the Judgment card is very much, again, about rebirth, about releasing the old and welcoming in the new. And we have these people who've sort of like risen and they're like naked as a babe, while this cosmic angel delivers this message to them. I'm also getting like Archangel Michael's Sword of Truth, because I mentioned the Sword of Truth here, and with there being like a massive angel of communication on this card, blowing the trumpet of the new way, and like a declaration. That's what I'm getting. And it's like, it's time to awaken from the old way. We can often on the Judgment card as well see people kind of rising out of coffins, or souls rising out of bodies. And it's this deeply transformational, cathartic process of release. And like a transformation of our spirit. And then we get the 10 of Cups. All of the cups, they're all filled. It is Mars in Pisces, and it's like a completion, it's a celebration emotionally, fill all the cups, let's have a banquet, let's drink all the wine kind of vibes in celebration. Like we've made it, it's an emotional release. And it's interesting that we've got it after these cards of death and judgment. And interesting that we also have it after this kind of Sword of Truth. And it's kind of like a reckoning with that message as well. A declaration, a reckoning, a final announcement, and a final shift is what I'm getting. And with that full moon coming up, the full moon is, the completion of a cycle. The moon card often represents Pisces. And water signs, which is, huge and emotional and about emotional release. And in this case, I'm getting a celebration of what we have finally released with that Judgment card. And so you might have some clarity and big release energies coming up around that full moon on Thursday. There might be a lot of swashing and sloshing around in some past emotion that's been happening. And I need to balance and harmonize those energies and rebuild and restructure and reformulate what makes us feel stable. And what do we want to build towards for ourselves so that we can be in balance and harmony, both internally and externally, with ourselves and with the collective. And I am going to pull a card from the Ostara Oracle, because we've had that clock change. We've had the equinox. We're starting to move into the light, the more hours of daylight after that point of balance between equal night and day. As Easter approaches, the rebirthing of all of the plants and nature. And we get creating altars. You may be reminded of the altar within, where the truth of your magic holds all you seek. And I'm getting that Temperance card. About, expanding this expansion and balancing of our spirit, our spiritual self, and welcoming in that energy and honouring ourselves and what is sacred to us. And I'm going to take one from the Goddess of Love. Love, love, love. Because the approaching full moon on Thursday is very Venus related, as I said earlier. Very Venus ruled. And we get reflection, healing, transformation. Again, big Temperance card vibes. Tempering yourself, balancing yourself. Also reflecting with that kind of nostalgia on that Six of Cups card. And this Judgment card as well, of and the Death card really as well, of releasing and reflecting on the old and the new, and this whole rebirthing energy, so that we can have this big emotional celebration of ourself and the altar within. Celebrate the spirit, our spirit. And I would like to thank you for watching Flow with Chloe. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you to all you returning viewers and you new subscribers. I am going away for a few days as of tomorrow, so not quite sure how patchy my YouTube presence will be there for. I'm going to take some cards with me, and I will be taking, my yoga gear and stuff, my yoga mat. I always take a mat with me where I can, so I might still be present, but I will be probably less present. Might also get some little clips of some little shorts of where I am and what I'm doing, with nice scenery, hopefully. the weather looks a bit horrible at the moment, but and I'm not going abroad, I'm staying in the UK, so we shall see what the weather does bring. And that's all. Bye.